Yo guys, what is happening? Multiple games, and welcome to another episode of our Minecraft City Let's Play. We're here back at the big mall, and today we're gonna be working on something pretty exciting. We're gonna be building a roof for this place. I know I said I was gonna work on this off camera, however, I then decided afterwards, after reading some comments that you guys left, some people were asking if I could show more of what I'm doing, I suppose, and not do as much off camera. It's kind of hard because I know some people they don't want that, and other people they do. But I figured that we're going to get some cool designs here done on the roof. They're not just going to be plain roofs, so we're going to see what we can get done in that sense. And in addition to that, I got a fun story to tell. So I'm excited to start off today. We also built this nice little condominium over here last episode, and I'm pretty happy with how that turned out. I'm hoping to put some more of them around the mall here with, again, the connection to a subway line at some point. But yeah, this is how it's looking so far. And the mall is coming along. I still got to do some work on some of these stores, which I need to change because I do not like the look of them. Holy smokes. They're driving me nuts. But basically what we're going to be doing today is starting on this end of the mall and building like some sort of roofs down. We're going to be doing a big, huge skylight, I think, down the middle of the mall here, just sort of following roughly the path. And then we'll do the roofs on the rest of these stores. This should be pretty straightforward, but we're going to add vents and a whole bunch of little details as well, which should hopefully help kind of make it look cool. Anyway, so I'm just going to start off with this building right here, and I'm just going to go along and try to fill them all in with their regular, or whatever the necessary block is on the top here. I'm going to tell you guys a little bit of a story. So yesterday morning, if you guys don't know, I'm here based out of Toronto. So it's in Canada, of course. If you guys don't know that, you probably do. I don't know why I'm going in this much detail already. But basically, I wake up at like 7 o'clock. And then about 15 minutes after I wake up, I get this alert on my phone saying that there's like some sort of hazard at a nuclear power plant nearby. And I'm like, okay. And mind you, I'm not super close to it, but still, I think I'm in range. Again, I've watched Chernobyl, and that stuff scares me a little bit. So I'm kind of like freaking out. I'm like, okay, what's going on? And so, I'm kind of like, should I like get up or should I like go do something? So maybe in like kind of the clever one I'm thinking I'm going to be proactive here. And I'm like, I'm going to pack a bag just in case, then I can just grab it. They said that you didn't need to evacuate. There was no issue. And they said emergency crews were responding. So I was like, okay, I'm sure they got everything under control. But in case they don't, I'm going to be the a little bit of a paranoid one here. And I'm going to be the one that goes ahead and actually packs a bag. So I'm getting my bag packed up. I throw my laptop in. And then what I realize is that I need to go grab a charger. And the way that I'm configured here is I have an office upstairs with I think there's a couple of other offices up here. But my main kind of facility where I store all my games and where my actual office is where I actually do work. And this is kind of like more of a studio because it's quieter up here. But my actual office is downstairs. And I left my laptop charger down there. So I was like, all right, I'm going to go down and grab a laptop charger. Anyway, I walk into my office downstairs. We're going to get to the nuclear power and how this all kind of plays out. But I get to my office downstairs and I'm like, I step in like this. I walk down there and it's like a shin deep full of water. I think it's the best way to describe it. Shin deep. It's over your ankle. And I was like, uh-oh. And it turns out it was raining. It was like a bad storm the last couple days. And it was raining pretty hard. So I was like, oh, great. Yeah, that's probably what triggered the power plant issues as well. And now I've got this my whole office is full of water. And I got all my computers down there. I have one server. And luckily I have backup, like APC backup systems. So they queued on. I unplugged everything, of course. And they kind of ran for a little bit, but then one of them was actually submerged, so that thing's done. And unfortunately, a little bit of other equipment is submerged. My PS4 is fine, though all my actual gaming stuff down there is all good. All the inventory is in a different room anyways, so that's all fine as well. And my actual office is in a different room. This was in the other office area. But yeah, I definitely have to go through some more stuff and throw things out. But I gotta basically rebuild that whole thing now because it's become destroyed. I had to buy a pump. That's more what this story is about, by the way. The nuclear alarm turned out to just be like an error that was sent out by mistake. So I was like, all right, that's good. But then surely I had all this water sitting there now that I had to deal with. So I went out and I bought a pump, of course. Not a fun $100 to spend, but I had to do it. And then we got the whole place pumped out, which was good. But yeah, just a little bit of a rough day yesterday. It was just a little bit off. So I'm glad that all my equipment for these videos are still intact. And I can still go ahead and make those. But yeah. Anyway, that was just a quick little story I wanted to share. We're filling in some roofs here, though. And they are already coming together pretty good. I'm obviously working on the individual stores themselves right now. I think this is green terracotta. And then we will move on, though, later to the center of the mall. That should work. And I might do a little bit of an upper section here as well. What we'll do down here, though, is just continually, go ahead and fill these all in. But yeah, it was definitely an interesting day yesterday. Definitely got the adrenaline rushing a little bit. It was kind of like, don't know, I kind of enjoy that to some extent. But then at the same time, I would never actually want it to happen. Like that'd just be awful. But then at the same time, it's like, all right, this is like I just entered a movie and I'm ready to go. But no, it's bad. Anyway, some of these buildings with weird shapes, we're gonna just go ahead and square off the actual area that we can then go ahead and fill, because it will be a little bit difficult to fill things that are circles, obviously. That should go like that. This I can probably leave open, not that it matters, and then we'll just fill all this in. It's actually kind of difficult figuring out what all these different blocks are. I am going to do some of the ceiling off camera, and I'm sorry if you guys aren't 100% okay with that, just because this is it's a little bit tedious and boring. So, but we are going to add some detail here to it. I'm hoping that I can kind of keep you entertained as we go through it. But that might be a little bit of a stretch. Let's just go ahead here. I'm going to do the inside of these stores later. I know some of these are 2 stories and whatnot, so it'll be okay. But yeah, if this is what you meant by wanting to see more, there you go. If this isn't what you meant, then I'm sorry. But here we go. We are actually done that side pretty much, with the exception of a few areas, which we'll connect in afterwards. Let's get this side done up now, and then we'll go ahead and start adding a little bit of detail. We're going to play around with a couple different concepts I have in mind as to what we could do for roof designs that actually just add some detail. If you guys have been following me for a while and you wonder how to do cool roof designs, well, first of all, I don't really do any, so this is already a bad start. But this might be a good lesson if you want to go back on some of the tutorials I've done in the past or some of the builds I've made and add some cool roof designs. You could steal these from what we're going to do in the mall here and then put them on, the skyscrapers or whatever it is. Cyan terracotta and cyan wool are very different colors. That is interesting. Let's fill this one in. The one building that I really hate, the magenta wool store. Magenta, not magenta banners. That'd be weird. All right, the food court I think has to have some sort of skylight eventually put into it here, but what we'll do is we'll just do the regular white concrete for right now and we'll add it afterwards. And there we go. We are definitely making some progress. Now it just looks like a weird kind of outlet mall. What I want to do now is go ahead and add this roof in, and I think what we want to do with this one is build things up to maybe this level, and then this one's going to go along like this. Maybe like so, and then we have this turn into like kind of a big skylight area. I'm not even sure how we're going to design this one, to be honest. There's no second story to this mall. I don't know if I already mentioned that, but there isn't going to be one. It's just going to be a 1-story mall. So we can kind of play around with the roof here a little bit. I want that to kind of do that. And you know what's interesting though? I wanted that to be kind of included here in the roof. Should have stuck with a more consistent height. Let's see. How can we do this? We could do something like this. There we go. And then the end goal is to actually go ahead here and add in glass that goes in all this section here. And then I guess in this section, we'll figure out some sort of cool design that can go that way. All right, so I'm just doing the other side now so we can center this up. But it's basically going to be a big glass dome that runs down here. And I'm, again, not really sure entirely how I'm going to do it, but something like this. I feel like there's a pretty realistic approach as to how this would work. But maybe, yeah, I don't know. They have lots of big glass areas in malls, right? All right, for this section over here, we're just going to build this up to however big it needs to go here. Yeah, this should actually work out pretty well, I think. I know this is kind of a harder build to follow if you're actually trying to build this, but I think this is going to work. We're doing something like this, and then this area over here is going to become a lot more interesting, but I think this area is pretty much good. Fill this in with some white stained glass, and that is essentially what we have going on here. It looks like a mall, I think. We're getting there. We are definitely getting there. And again, we need like a whole bunch of roof design. I'll show you those in a second here. In fact, I think I might just leave that section as it is right now. This is going to take me a lot of time and counting, because I want to do some sort of dome, but I don't think I want to do that on camera today, just because, again, lack of time when not. Let's go and talk about a couple cool little designs we can do for roofs, right? Okay, so here's what I'm thinking. We could do some big, kind of, maybe not that big. We could do some big cylinder things, or not cylinder things. These are squares, rectangles. Shapes are hard. There we go. We got these, and I'm thinking we could use these stone pillars, or walls, I should say, to kind of connect multiple ones together. And these might be some sort of air conditioning units. I'm not even sure, to be honest, but you oftentimes will see big stuff like these on top of roofs. And I just feel like it's something that would add some good detail here. Another cool thing that we could do on the top here is just add a layer of white concrete that goes around like so. Kind of secluding the whole thing in a way, I suppose. I think it'll work well. Something like this. It's not noticeable from the side, of course, but it does just add a nice little amount of detail there. Now, the next thing that I wanted to try here, and this is something that I've seen on a lot of buildings in Minecraft, is generally if you use the rails here, you can make little AC kind of units that look like that. And again, you can use things like the pillars or like iron blocks, or not pillars, the walls, or like iron blocks to connect these items. I mean, there's quite frankly a whole bunch of things you could do. The more different blocks you get, the better, because you can just experiment with different things. You could do a little something with some redstone torches, I'm sure. And then you could have maybe like a little thing coming off of there. I like using these as like ducts or air pipes or something like that connect to then other things. And maybe this is like some sort of little smokestack we could put here. See? Adding some detail. I'm liking it. And I'm not the best at this, but I do think they work to some extent. I'm thinking we could do some stuff with some stairs as well. If you did like something like this even. Just what is it? Who knows? But I feel like there's something that you would see on the top of a building. You just do a whole bunch of them here. Anyway, I'm going to basically be doing a whole bunch of things like that along the entire top of the mall. And I think that's going to help out a lot. So we got a whole bunch of really cool little designs here. We got this nice big skylight. And when we start to walk in the mall, you might sort of start to get an idea of what it's going to be like in here. Pretty nice. We're going to do a floor, of course, and everything like that. But yeah, I'm liking the feeling of that. I'm liking how this thing's starting off, and it's looking pretty cool in my opinion. So yeah, I feel like we got some good stuff done today. I'm actually glad I showed that on camera too, because I feel like that's a really cool little design feature there. All right, well, there we go, guys. Unfortunately, that is all the time that we do for today. I'm going to work on the other area of the roof right over here, hopefully, and get something to show you. And then we can, continue working on the mall here. But yeah, I think that turned out pretty good, and I'm excited about it. If you guys did enjoy the video, please don't forget to go below, leave a like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you guys all in the next video.